Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be sharing, a story that I heard when I was growing up as a young man from a teacher back then in high school. So this teacher told us about a farmer and his donkey. So one day his donkey happened to fall in a very big ditch. So because the farmer was like so disappointed and he couldn't, pull out the donkey from this big ditch, he decided out of pain and anger to just try to bury his donkey. It was such a pity, but he had nothing to do because he had tried everything to put out the donkey from this big hole, from this big ditch, but he couldn't. So out of anger and pain and what he was going through at that time, so he started to collect soil. He started to get soil from different places, and then he decided to bury his own donkey when he was crying out of pain and suffering. Doing all this, the farmer did all this out of pain. But he did not know what was happening to the donkey. In his mind, he was thinking he's burying his donkey because he couldn't get it out of the hole, out of the ditch. So as he poured soil on the donkey was just shaking the soil from his back, and then it was actually stepping on the soil that the farmer was pouring on it. So he did this for quite, number of time. And then after doing this for hours and hours and hours, the donkey was only shaking off the soil on its back and then stepping on the same soil to come out of the ditch. So when the farmer did this out of suffering and pain, after some time, the donkey that he thought it was burying actually jumped out of the ditch. It jumped out of this pit that it fell into. So, why am I saying this, folks? A lot of time that, last time I made a video and said that you need to know your friends in your time of suffering. You need to know your friends, the friends that are there in your green light and the friends that are there in your red light. Those are the friends who come to understand the people who are there. And then we need to know the people who actually throw us in the pit, or people who actually wish us to be in the pit. But I'm going to tell you this. I told my friends yesterday that when time moves on, you actually realize the time will reveal your true friends. Time will reveal, as time unfolds, situations happening, bad things occurring to you and good things occurring to you. You know the true nature of human beings. You know the true nature and the true character of people who are actually there for you during that time. That's when you understand people who will stick with you, come rain, come shine. So as other people wish to throw soil on you and cover you and bury you in the ditch, I'm going to tell you something. I talk about life in reality where people wish everything. When people ask you how you're doing, they're actually not asking you to know how you're doing, but they actually want to gauge the level with you to know if you're doing good, if you're not doing good. They want to try to level where you're standing and where they're standing. So we got to do stuff in a more different way. I talked about, thoughts and the thoughts process and how we're supposed to direct our thoughts in a positive way, and then try to not to divert our thoughts to go in a negative way. But then we need to understand the people who are in our corner, the people who are in our circle. If you have a big circle of friends, then you have to narrow down the circle to a small circle and know who's there for you. And know who's there. When people do, like family members try to let you go and say, oh, you will not make it. There's nothing you cannot do without us. We are everything. We need to, because they will expect you to be there and seek everything from them. Friends who will just wish you down and not be there in your time of, in your green light. Folks, I'm here telling you today that, however much people may wish to see you fall, however much people may wish to see you, down and not prosper and not, go through and, not put your hustle to a level where you feel like I'm making it in life, however much they're burying you, not being the farmer who actually buried the donkey out of pain and suffering, but they're burying you because they want to see you down and they want to step on you and be up. There's something for you. We're going to be those donkeys that, the farmer poured the soil on it and then it just shook its back and then stepped on the soil. as people trying to bury you, as they're trying to, use every situation, every moment and everything from time to time to try to see that they put you down, then we're going to shake off everything that they pour on our backs. We're going to shake off everything and then step out of the pit, step out of that hole. So I'm here telling you guys, every time I talk about real life situations and, the time of life we know where, people tell us about everything is going to be fine. And, there's nothing that happens without, these real life situations happening. If I come here and tell people, hey, I know life is going to be beautiful. Life is not a box of chocolate. Obviously, then, or time after time, there will be challenges happening. Situations where you feel like you want to give up upon, your life, and then the thoughts tell you, your mindset actually tells you cannot make it. You cannot make it to something. You cannot be that person you see. You cannot have what the other person has. Why? Because your mindset will tell you, no, that person, they have this, they have this. So you cannot have it. So today I will share another story. This is a famous story about the river and the sun. So long time ago, there was a river that flew from up the mountain. So as the river, took its stream down the desert, after going through all this hardship and, these difficulties flowing down the desert, the river finally gets to the desert. And then as the river tried to make its way into the desert, all its water was just, buried. It was just taken up into the soil. And then as the river was so disappointed and, it had a whisper from far away. And this whisper was saying, the wind can blow and can move across the desert. And so can you. You can also do the same thing just like the wind. So when the river heard this, with full of disappointment, it answered and said, but this is the wind, it can fly. So the wind can fly over the desert, but I cannot do that. So when the river said this, again, the whisper from far away said something. He said, it will be until when you try to actually absorb yourself into the wind. That's the only time you can fly across the desert. Only your true self, only your true thing. If you try to absorb yourself into the wind and allow yourself to fly over the desert, it's the only time when you can fly across the desert. So out of, the river did not really, agree to this, but the whisper told the river that I've seen you because you do not know your true self. I've seen you being absorbed into the wind and you've been carried away by the wind. And after going through across the desert, you are then released in form of rain and you fall down and make another stream in a different way. So it's until when we realize our true selves, it's until when we realize our true potential and the things we can do. When we change our mindset, when we change our thoughts, and when we change the people around us, it's until when we actually try to understand the things we're capable of doing. So I'm here, folks, to tell you once again, however much we try to change our mindsets, and however much we try to, be positive and then to have the positive minds, we have to look and know the people we surround ourselves with. The things that affect you every single moment is because of the people you surround yourself with. The people who tell you there's nothing we can be, we're nothing but only this. We cannot be like the other people. We cannot be this. We cannot achieve this. That is who you're going to be. If you do not surround yourself with the right people, trust me, you'll still be that kind of a person you are right now. Thank you. Bye-bye.